If you are a mother and an entrepreneur, and you have a belief system that being a good mom is doing it exactly opposite of what your mom did because she worked, and I have a value of building a great business because that's what I'm called to do. But every time I'm successful in the business, I'm violating being at home. Self-sabotage. If you have self-sabotage, you're not broken. Nothing's wrong with you. In fact, it just means you have a very productive, executing brain that's not been told what to do. When you self-sabotage, what you're doing is you're sacrificing one value to protect another value. Our belief systems have to be wired the right way, or else we'll avoid opportunity and pursue setback, subconsciously and autonomously. Self-sabotage is what happens when our brains, our reticular activating system, and our bodies are doing their job inappropriately. This is what self-sabotage means. This is not hard to fix. It's very easy to fix. It feels really bad, but it's always, when you self-sabotage, what you're doing is you're sacrificing one value to protect another value. This is what self-sabotage is. There's an unmet need here. I'm going to meet that need, and that is going to create self-sabotage because I'm going to not do this over here. So, example, if you are a mother and an entrepreneur, and you have a belief system that being a good mom is doing it exactly opposite of what your mom did because she worked. You never got to see her. Just making this up. Let's put yourself in this story. I have a really strong value around being there for my kids because my mom wasn't there for me. Got it? And I have a value of building a great business because that's what I'm called to do. But every time I'm successful in the business, I'm violating being at home. And then when I'm at home, I'm violating the business. So we have two values at the same time, like antennas sticking up outside of your head. And what do you get when you have two values? Cognitive collision, yes. And you attempt at least to get both of them. So it looks like this. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to build the business. We're crushing it. 3 weeks in, I'm getting close to the goal. Wait, stop. I'm not at home. Turn around. I got to be present for my kids. I'm there. The business isn't working. Wait, stop. I got to build the business. This is all of your life. This way, this way, this way. What is 2 steps forward and 2 steps back? Nothing, except for what? Wasted energy. Oh, you're working really hard. You're not doing anything. Self-sabotage. This is values that are creating conflict inside of the middle. Does this make sense? Yep. So it gets a little crazier because it's not just wasted energy. All friction creates something. So wasted energy is not necessarily a thing. Anything that creates energy creates something else. So what does this wasted energy create? Shame, bad self-concept. So here's the position. Check this out. We have a value. The value is controlling. What does the reticular activating system do? It sends you things that you value. So that's part of its job. I value generosity. Therefore, I'm going to look for opportunities to be generous. But then if I have another value that's causing me to not be generous, there's this thing in the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex, which begins to sort of compare behavior to a value. Is this person actually behaving in a way that aligns with their values? And it will begin to like low-key judge you and release feelings that make it very uncomfortable. This is why you can tell when you have a value and you're not demonstrating that value, how does it feel? Awful. Feels really, really bad. It feels almost sometimes like physical pain, doesn't it? This is because it's being triggered by the anterior cingulate cortex, the ACC. They've done experiments on this part of the brain which lights up pain regions like similar to physical pain. So that you're feeling it. When you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm a fraud. You feel that. I'm not measuring up. You feel that. And it's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're not smart enough. It might be because you were programmed with a value that is creating a lot of confusion in the middle. So we can take a moment, we can begin to work on our values. We did this exercise one time with a group of entrepreneurs similar to this. This was about 2 years ago. And we did this experiment where it's like, and I'm gonna have you do it today, but I'm just gonna give you an example of what it looks like. It was like, what's the feeling that you feel that you don't wanna feel anymore? You easily think about that feeling, right? The negatives are the easiest thing to find. Being this, like, speaking at events, I see it all the time. Hey, what do you guys want? Anybody know what they want in life? Everyone raises their hands. Cool. What do you want? To not be poor. That's not the question. You don't know what you want. You know what you don't want. And what you don't want is still sent up as a command. It's the same thing. So what's a feeling that you don't want? You should be able to find it very easily. And then what's the value that's creating that thing? And value is twofold. What is the value? What's the meaning of it? What is the value? What's the meaning of it? We need the meaning so that we can accurately assess whether we're measuring up to that value or not. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Maybe so? Okay, I'll give you an example. One person, the feeling that they were having was that they couldn't shut off. They're an entrepreneur. They couldn't turn off. They couldn't turn off the phone. They never got to take vacations because even on vacation, they would work. Has anybody ever felt this? It was like, okay, look at the values. What is the value that could be causing this? We found out she had a value to always have more than enough. That's not a bad thing. This is in the Bible. This is okay to have, but the meaning was undefined. How do you know when you have more than enough? You don't. So we had to change that value so that it was no longer causing a behavior that was conflicting with the other values. Another example was somebody who every time they would go on a date, he was single, he wanted to go on a date, and he would like self-sabotage right before the date. He was so frustrated. You guys remember Nick? He was at the first one. Brilliant copywriter, total dude. He was self-sabotage right before. What's the value here? What's driving this? And we got to this place where he was trying to find someone that matched what he wanted. He valued the ability to find opportunity in other people. It was all about other people. So we flipped that. We said, hey, what if you valued taking care of yourself and attracting somebody who sees you? Very simple, not difficult to do, and you'd be amazed. It's not a lot of work. You change the value, and all of a sudden, you have a programming sequence that runs through everything else. Super easy to do. Yeah. Question? Thought? Comment? Concern? Complaint?
How can people know or uncover when a value has become a vice?
Define vice.
I would say a vice is something you want that hurts you. Maybe I just answered the question, but I'm just curious how you approach it.
To me, what a value is something that you kind of cherish or steward or you want to become. Most vices, I believe, this is what I believe with my current understanding, are the downsides of other values that are not being met. So I don't think of value in a vice. I think a vice is underneath it. Totally separate, but it's a need that you're not meeting. And so you're meeting it with something else. Great question. Maxwell Maltz says this: a human being always acts and feels and performs in accordance with what he imagines. Say imagines. Right brain. Just saying. He always acts and feels and performs in accordance with what he imagines to be true about himself and about his environment. So values reside in the realm of this is what I value. My imagination is used to tell me what it looks like for that value to be met. And then you have this part of your brain judging you all the time. Are you living up to this or are you not? That's where the wasted energy creates this shame. It creates this insecurity. It creates the imposter syndrome. In Sacred Timelines, we go hard at the imposter syndrome. I hate that people live feeling the need to protect the parts of themselves that are the most valuable. But as children, we recognize what we are punished for, and we protect the parts of us that were never punished. And so then adults hide the parts that no one saw, and they show the world the parts that they have already experienced punishment with, and it creates a loop. We don't have time to talk about that, but we do. Is anybody at Sacred Timelines in May? Okay. You guys missed it? Oh, breaks my heart. Well, now one of my values is broken. So, conflicting standards. We have conflicting values. Is this making sense so far? What I'm trying to communicate to you is that nothing in your brain is broken. If you have self-sabotage, you're not broken. Nothing's wrong with you. In fact, it just means you have a very productive, executing brain that's not been told what to do. It hasn't been, the meaning hasn't been defined the right way. So we can delete self-sabotage by understanding what are the unmet needs that are causing the self-sabotage. Okay? And then we'll go into intention if we have time for the rest of the day. Brianna Wiest, check this out. If there is an ongoing gap between where you are and where you want to be, and when your efforts to close it are consistently met with your own resistance, pain, and discomfort, self-sabotage is almost always at work. In reality, self-sabotage is simply the presence of an unconscious need that is being fulfilled by the self-sabotaging behavior. Does that make sense? We should be like getting a little bit of free vibes right now. Oh, nothing's wrong with me. Oh, I'm not broken. No, it's just your brain and your body connecting, swapping information, and your brain's trying to do the thing that it thinks you want it to do. It's protecting you. So we don't have to go adversarial with it. We don't want to fight with self-sabotage. Try it. It doesn't work. Anybody try getting really mad at yourself and then boom, you just broke through it? Oh, okay, I hate myself. Boom, broke through it. Nah, it doesn't work. Your brain's not like, hey, okay, I won't protect you anymore because you're mad. No, it's still going to protect you no matter what. We have to get to the values. We have to get to the roots. And what I'm going to do is take us straight into an exercise because I think you understand it. If you don't, raise your hand right now so we can talk about it. If you flew all the way to Nashville and you don't get what you needed because you couldn't raise your hands, that might be a self-sabotage. Clock it. Remove it. Okay, here's the exercise. This is a big one, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes for it, okay? And then we'll just drink coffee and we'll go again. Write down, what is a feeling, this is page 46, what is a feeling that you do not want and what would you like to replace it with? What is a feeling you don't want and what feeling would you like to replace it with? Second, think about it or ask God about it. Either one will work. What value could be causing this feeling? And then what would you replace that value with? Or would you redefine it? You can replace the value or you can redefine it. So it's sort of okay to value freedom. So that's a good value. Would we agree? Freedom's a great thing. Let's all be free. But the moment that we define that value incorrectly, as like there are no constraints, no rules, no guidelines. Now we find the downside of a good thing. And then we are bucking against authority, rebellion. We won't listen to anyone. It's like, what's causing this, bro? Oh, you have a high value on freedom that you have missed the definition of. What about safety? Anybody find a feeling that came from valuing safety? So this isn't just you. This is me, her, all of us. Valuing safety is a dangerous value because if it's misdefined, then we will legitimately, we won't speak, we won't stand up, we won't show up, we'll hide Because what's the safest thing that we could do? Live in a cave, by ourselves, isolation. Huh? Yeah. So when we have a feeling, we're like, what could be causing this feeling? A lot of time, what you find if you're doing it right is you find a good thing. Not a bad value. You find a good value that the meaning has been corroded or corrupted or tilted, and it's something that is good that we're getting the negative effects of. That's why it's so difficult. Anybody have a fear of rejection? Okay. The value is acceptance. Not a bad thing, a dangerous thing. If you value that, but only that, and there's no defining factor of what it means, then we'll run from things that could cause rejection. And you know a guaranteed way to never be rejected? Huh? Never try. Yeah, why? If I'm only programmed to avoid rejection, the best thing that I can do is nothing. Never go for it. So I had an extreme value on status and acceptance, but it came from a good place. I wanted to do good things for people. I wanted to help people. And over time, what I learned, because I'm being programmed and you're being programmed, everything's programmatic. Everything's being programmed. I learned to chase the derivatives, so money, platform, all of these things. And then anytime something would threaten those things, what happens? Well, my value protection mechanism came on, and I would become manipulative. I would become sort of adversarial. I would shut criticism down. I wouldn't listen. I would get rid of the person. If Frank came up to me 5 years ago, you never did. But if he came up to me and said, man, I really have an issue because I think you're doing something wrong. Autonomously, almost subconsciously, I would begin to discredit Frank with everyone else because I cannot run the risk of one of my values being compromised. This is nasty stuff, and we don't even realize it. So not all of your values they're not bad. It's just they're programming the wrong behavior. Talk to me. This isn't making sense at all. Who couldn't find any values? Great, everyone found values. That's better than the first time we did this, so give yourselves a round of applause because that's pretty well done. It's a nice little golf clap. Questions, let's take questions. Here, I'll give her my mic.
Can you explain more the difference between value and belief?
So a belief is going to control the meaning of something. So if you're stuck in traffic, what does it mean? You're going to be late. Somebody's not efficient. What else? Frustration, why? Okay, all these meanings are coming from beliefs. Your entire portfolio of perspectives is coming from beliefs. When you have a bad month in business, what does it mean? If you're healthy, it doesn't mean that much personally. It doesn't attach to you personally. If you're unhealthy, a bad month in business, I am a failure, my team's a failure, something you starts getting, it manipulates the meaning of everything around you. So we're gonna hit this hardcore tomorrow in looping, because I looped like nobody's business. And something would happen to me, and you're supposed to, in psychological terms, you're supposed to appraise it before you respond to it. Not me. Something happened to me, bam, response, before you even know what it means. This is my belief systems that had gotten completely out of control. So a value is above a belief system. What we're using right now is we're using cognitive reframing, using our belief systems to change what the value means. It's a different level. Values first, belief systems, thoughts. Because when you label something, doesn't it change your thinking around it? Yeah, man, 100%. How can it not? So if you're like, let's take Joseph for a second. probably, well, I don't know. I'll ask. Has anybody spent 7 years in prison? I just would like to applaud you if you have. Okay. So we got this guy who's spending 7 years in prison, and we know he's probably frustrated by this. How do we know? Not a trick question, guys. Come on. How do we? He didn't do anything wrong. Someone lied about him. Yeah, so he would be frustrated. Would you be frustrated? I would be frustrated. But in the middle of being in prison, if he had the belief system, what does this mean, belief system? I've got to figure it out. He'd be trying to escape. What if he broke out of jail? What if he did? All of Egypt would have died. They had no food. What if he mislabeled it? This is what the Bible says, that God was in him and with him and around him. So we know that he obviously didn't label it incorrectly. Something inside of him was like praying to get out, but I'll stay. But if he mislabeled it, if belief systems were corroded, inaccurate, messed up, imagine Joseph breaking out of the very thing that God had to use to promote him. And then everyone dies. Rough. Keep praying for God to break you out of prison if you want. Or you could tell God, just do your thing, and it's on your clock, and whenever your clock is, I'll do it. And I need to find out a way to make sure my belief systems match what you said in the middle of it. You can retrain yourself. You can reprogram yourself. You want to do another one? About David. This dude was probably 28, 29 years old when he became king of Judah. Only half of it. And then he had to sit around and wait for the other half of it to come up. Have you ever been half promoted? Y'all, for real. You ever like, oh man, God is about to break through, and you get a little bit and then nothing else? That wasn't what he said. That's not the promise. What's going on here? Imagine him just taking over, doing it his own way. This is where we have to get our belief systems oriented the right way, or else getting out of timing with God is essentially a disqualification. So people are like, obedience, you have to obey. Yeah, but sometimes speeding up is disobedience. It's pretty literal. So we can ask, hey God, what do you want me to sit in right now? The spiral might be going downward. You want me to prevent this and change this? Or is this how it's supposed to be? I'll just leave it. Handle the pressure. It's good. A leg press every now and again is good news. It's good news. If you don't have any leg presses, then you have no muscle. And if you don't have any muscle, it's overloading the cartilage and everything in between. Sometimes God will use it because you got to build some staying power in the middle. Our belief systems have to be wired the right way, or else we'll avoid opportunity and pursue setback. And we're literally doing it subconsciously and autonomously. Any questions about the values? Did you want to talk about the thing you talked about? That's a great question. Let's hit it. Anybody else felt this? How do I know whether this is, okay, here's the answer. So easy. You ready? Do you pray? Okay, start praying this every day. God, help me love what you love and hate what you hate. God, help me love what you love and hate what you hate. Help me love what you love and hate what you hate. And then you'll start noticing your heart start to move around. It's not only that there's chaos, you hate it. It's like, okay, I don't like this anymore. You give God permission to play around with the desires in your heart. This is the verse in Psalms that says God will give you the desires of your heart. I take that literally. I want God's desires in my heart. I'd rather like what he likes than like what I like. And if there's a deviation, if there's a delta, fix it. You have permission to do it. Help me love what you love and hate what you hate. Fix the delta. And all of a sudden I start feeling differently. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just that something might not be working. I find myself loving and wanting to do the things that I'm supposed to do. And then even if it's working, I don't like it anymore. This happens to me all the time. So I'll be in situations where nothing's working. But bro, it's awesome. I'm on fire. I love it. I've got to get this thing to work. Well, that's the signal. Because your heart's sort of repositioned. And then you'll have things where like, this is a great opportunity. This is amazing. This will pay me a lot of money. That sounds stupid. I don't want to do that. I have no interest in that at all. Well, I'm praying that I would be duplicated. God would duplicate his desires inside of me. That will literally fix it. Like 2 weeks, you're good. Unless you skip. You skip leg day, you're done. No skipping. I can tell you're skipping leg day a little bit, man. Great question. Any other questions?